I've been meaning to buy this controller for quite some time, and now that I finally have it, I feel like a review is extremely overdue. For the past week and a half, I've replaced my Razer Wolverine Ultimate with the PowerA Fusion Pro, an extremely versatile wired Xbox Pro controller offered at a mind-boggling price. And today I'll be telling you guys about my recent experience with it, its pros, its cons, the risky factors about it. More on that later, but at the end of the day, we'll be answering the question if it is or is not worth your time. If you yourself do happen to have one of these, I know a lot of my audience members do, leave your experience down in the comment section below. I'm very curious to hear about them. But I won't keep you guys waiting any longer. I've been keeping you guys waiting for the past, I don't know, like 6 months. Let's just hop right into it. Remember when I said it was offered at a mind-boggling price? I wasn't kidding. $80 for the black or white version. I shit you not. You could also go on eBay and find one used or new from a reliable seller for anywhere between like 60, 70 bucks, maybe even 50 in some cases, but again, like I've said in previous videos, I wouldn't really recommend that. I'll be leaving some links down in the description, some retailers, maybe eBay. The issue is that these controllers are kind of scarce new, so this controller offers you just as many features, if not more, than most of the Pro controllers on the market right now. Keep in mind, it's difficult to find Pro controllers in the $100 range. And in the $150 range, you still might not be getting a good product. $80 goddamn dollars. The only reason that it's so cheap is because it's engineered extremely simple. The paddles are removable entirely. The faceplate, instead of, having those modules that are magnetic so you can have removable thumbsticks, you just pop the faceplate off. We'll be talking about all this and more later. Like 4 removable, remappable paddles, 3-way trigger stops, a carrying case, weights built into the controller to make it not feel as dog shit. Oh my god, we're talking about that later. You get it, there's a fuck ton of features, but we need to start with one. So let's start with the paddles. The Fusion Pro has 4 stainless steel paddles, and they come in this little pack called your paddle pack, or as PowerA likes to call it, your mappable Pro pack. iPhones are dog shit at focusing. I'm just going to put B-roll up. I don't give a fuck. These paddles are shaped just like the Elite Series 1, and they are way bigger. Not only that, but they're spaced out properly. Microsoft. They felt kind of loose at first, almost like they weren't sitting there properly, but as time went on, so 2-3 days later, they were perfectly fine, but they still feel a little loosey-goosey in comparison to how tight the Elite and the Elite Series 2 are. You can take off singular paddles, or you can just take off the whole pack, which is something I find myself doing when it comes to car games, because I don't really need them. I find it really convenient. What I don't find convenient is how long it takes to map the paddles, but I can't really complain about that, because it takes an infinite amount of time faster than using a software. There isn't a software for this controller, but there is a nice little, nice little button on the bottom. It's the program button. It's labeled program. You hold that for a second or two, and then you press the button that you want to map. It starts flashing, and then you press the paddle you want to map it to. I just screwed up my entire thing. That's really cool. But it's super simple, and I have to appreciate PowerA for that, because I've had 4 very complex controllers in the past year. All of them have told me to go fuck myself. Yeah, sure, the software that the Wolverine and the Elite Series 2 have, they're cool, but there's beauty in simplicity. Alright, we need to move on, but I want to talk about a very important topic before I continue talking up all the features this thing has. Durability. I will say it's built very nice on the outside, which is very reminiscent of the Elite Series 2. It has a nice rubberized faceplate just like the Elite Series 2, but this one, it's really, really, really easy to get it dirty. The slightest bit of moisture, or really anything, yeah, it's gonna scuff it up and make it look gross, so you're gonna need to wipe that off all the time. But I like it, and the rubberized grips are actually grippy, unlike most gaming grip stuff. And it's actually a smaller form factor than your stock Xbox controller. It's just a bit smaller. The shoulders are a bit smaller, the bumpers are rounded, so it's a lot more versatile in terms of how many people can use it and what people can use it, unlike my Wolverine Ultimate, which is a very specific type of controller. Yo, I forgot the weights. There's weights in this, serious weights. I feel like they did this to give it, it's a wired controller, so I'm assuming that they did that to give it a more premium feel, which is kind of a stroke of genius, because I see people commenting on a multitude of Razer Wolverine videos I've made saying, it feels cheap. It feels cheap. It feels so cheap. I'm like, the fucking plastic is the same plastic they used to make your Xbox controller. What are you talking about? It's light. It's wired. I'm sorry, I don't want to sit here and continue to complain about my comment section. It gets bad. It gets really bad. Alright, fuck all the shenanigans. This controller's good. but the amount of complaints it's gotten on the channel alone, before I've even made any videos about it, is a bit worrying. I've made videos on all four, I've called them the 4 horsemen of fucking pro controllers. The Elites, the Wolverines, PowerA Fusion Pro. And by the Elites, I specifically mean the Elite Series 2. The Elite Series 2 takes the cake for number 1 in comments about how many have come broken. The Fusion Pro comes in second, and the Wolverine will come in third. Although the Wolverine and the Fusion Pro are very, very close. Did I write these numbers? I don't think I wrote these goddamn numbers down. A lot of the comments were defects upon arrival and stick drift either very shortly after, they began using it, or a few months down the line. So I will have a 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month update video on this controller. Promise. I didn't do a 6 month update on the Wolverine, which is down there. I don't know why. When it comes to my skepticism on whether or not you should buy it purely based off of the durability, I'll talk more about that in the conclusion of this video. But I don't know. It's a bit risky. Anyways, there's another feature on the bottom of this controller we haven't talked about yet. And it's one I was really excited about, but kind of let down by, and it's the 3-way trigger stops. Okay, look. They're terrible. 1 is just regular, triggers go all the way down. 2 is basically just 1. It doesn't make much of a difference at all. It's like at the very, very back of the trigger. It doesn't make too much of a difference whatsoever. The only physical possible way these things could be any type of useful is you put them on max or turn them off. There's no in between with these. They're just 2-way trigger stops. That's all they are. On the contrary, though, I do like the triggers, and I do like the bumpers. The bumpers are rounded. They feel like they're a bit easier to get to because your hands just naturally wrap around them. And the triggers are a bit smaller, which I always like on Xbox controllers. But yeah, that's the triggers and the trigger stops. But while I'm complaining about shit, the D-pad. Alright, look. All the buttons on this are from very normal Xbox controllers. I just haven't been playing with a normal Xbox controller. This probably isn't an issue for most people. But every fucking time I double click and I'll hit left and down D-pad at the same time, and it screws with me in BeamNG because the D-pad is so important to the gameplay that it just... I think it's just me. I think I'm mildly retarded. I haven't used regular D-pads in quite some time, so... Personal issue. But the rest of the buttons are actually extremely nice. ABXY feel clicky, not mushy or anything. I actually really like them. And I do like that they are the colored ABXY buttons. It gives the controller a little bit more dynamic, not just... I'm Batman. My parents died. I don't have a Batman mask. I used to actually have props. Like, what happened to my props, dude? When it comes to your other buttons, you got your home and your options button. They all feel clicky. Like the Xbox button on the Xbox One controllers for the 1st and 2nd gen, I believe. It's really smushy and spongy and gross. It's only the 3rd gen Xbox controller where it got a little more clicky and tactile, not all spongy bullshit. The thumbsticks, though. The thumbsticks are stock. They're completely stock Xbox thumbsticks. Some people told me they felt cheap, and I was like, really? Because they look just like the stock ones from the Xbox One controllers. I'm like, well, they just feel cheap. And sure enough, they are stock Xbox One controllers. Xbox One controllers? Xbox One thumbsticks. Oh yeah, by the way, with the faceplate, it's magnetic, and I don't know if I said this earlier, but you have to just pull right next to your headphone jack. There you go. The faceplate's made so you can just pop thumbsticks on and off. Here, pop this bad boy off, pop that bad boy off, pop that bad boy on, bada boom, bada bing. Let's talk about these rings. I'm not going to talk about the rings too much because I can't care less about them. It comes with these silver rings for your thumbsticks. They're called anti-friction rings or whatever the hell. They're made out of aluminum. It comes with green ones. I don't know why. If you want, you can pop them on, pop them off. I don't care. I'm not doing that, though. Last few things I wanted to talk about, they aren't all that important. It's just the cord and the headphone jack. So on this controller, you only get the 3.5mm headphone jack, which is super useful, but it sounds ever so slightly worse than my Wolverine's headphone jack. The sound isn't as punchy, it doesn't have nearly as much bass, and it's lacking a little bit on the treble side, but I can let it pass because it's still miles better than wireless Dolby 7.1 surround sound, which I got to try the other day. Yeah, I was not a fan. You know what I am a fan of? Cables that are super difficult to take out of your controller. I'm not a fucking fan of this. I'm not at all. It actually irritates me. So on your cable, you got these little clips. For whatever reason, they thought this would be a good idea. You already have a housing for your USB cord right in the front, just like my Wolverine, but it has these little clips for no stupid reason. And it is the most difficult thing on planet Earth to pull this thing out, because you have to pull these clips to pull with the might of Hercules. I think they did that so you wouldn't just pull it out all the time, or whenever you knocked it over, it wouldn't, rip out. Here's the issue, though. This is a breakaway cable. It's right here. That is a fucking breakaway cable. You do not need 2 layers of protection to make sure your controller doesn't get messed up, dude. I'd appreciate it if you stopped doing this, PowerA. Please and thank you. And our last piece of the puzzle is, well, the case. And I don't know why it's so goddamn big. Wolverine Ultimate, which I believe is a bigger controller. PowerA Fusion Pro. Why? You got a nice little spot for your paddles, you got spots for your thumbsticks and your rings, although they kind of suck, so your shit's probably just going to be floating around in there. But like every other thing, you also got one of these tension elastic things for your cord. Basic case. It is nice though. It's a rubber, and it's like this hard rubber, as opposed to the Wolverine, which is like a fabric, almost like the Elite Series 2's case, and the Elite Series 1, same case. Now, I think that covers just about everything. I like the case, I like the controller, the unboxing experience was fun, which you can see up there, by the way. But would I recommend this? Well, it's a difficult, really difficult question, actually. Because it's a nice controller, and for the price, you cannot beat it. In fact, I'd highly recommend this over the Elite Series 2 if you wanted to buy an Elite Series 2. With the amount of reports I've gotten, it seems to be a tad bit risky. So if you're someone who's looking to get into the Pro Controller gang, and you're willing to put down the $80, take a little bit of a risk. It's not as risky as something like the Elite Series 2, but if you buy a warranty with it from like Best Buy, or if you buy it off the website, I believe it comes with a 2-year warranty, I think you should be okay. So I can recommend this controller for the price point that it's offered at, because it hasn't gone up. It's remained $80 for the longest time, and if you get lucky, you might be able to find one cheaper. If you're someone looking for an Elite Series 2 that won't break, a new experience, or you're trying to get into the whole Pro Controller scene, this is something really nice to start out on, because it's not that risky, it's not expensive, and warranties for it are not expensive as well. But be careful, and good luck. Best of luck. I will have a 1-month, 3-month, and 6-month progression video on this controller with me playing my games, so if you're interested in that, be sure to hit that sub thing and the Liberty Bell down below. Holy shit, I think I just finished one of my most requested videos of all time, and the recording's 32 minutes long. I'm going to commit suicide today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really do. Because I know you guys are waiting for this for the longest time, and I do apologize for not getting it out sooner, but I think it came out when it needed to. I think it was done well, hopefully. I don't know, I haven't edited this video yet. It's probably dog shit. I hope you guys enjoyed. Guys, 0.4 live here. Fucking guys, dude. Members, I set notifications for this shit. I really don't know why I don't do this, or don't remember to. Breaking habits is really hard, okay? I'm sorry. Alright, I'm just gonna go in order with these members. So we got the Ballin' Boy, JG, IMZ, Crazy B, Waterless, Heberbrine 3, and D Jacques. If you guys are looking to become a member of a not very basic tech channel, I'm doing my absolute best. I swear to God, I'm trying. If you guys do want to support me, though, I have a link to my channel membership thing down below. You can also hit the join button, which I think is faster, but I'm brain dead and don't know how to recommend things efficiently. I need to write these scripts better. I love you guys so much. If you want to enjoy, like, sub things, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.